Hello, we're back again with another video, and today we're going to be talking about something pretty controversial. I'm Alice and we talk about books, we do vlogs, lifestyle, car vlogs, chats, waffles, the whole shebang. So if you're looking for someone to stick on in the background whilst you're making yourself a meal, cleaning your room, or doing that task you've been putting off for ages, I'm your gal. I mean, if you want to listen to me, well, that's also really kind. So consider hitting that subscribe button. Why not? You only live once and it's completely free. You can unsubscribe at any time. So welcome on in, put that seatbelt on, you're in for a ride. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for your continued support. Why I keep doing this today? Weird. Anyway, today we're going to talk about something controversial on my channel. Let me show you. Non-fiction. Now, we have a bit of an interesting relationship. These are all the non-fiction books I own. That's a lie. It's not. I also own this one, which I am currently reading. I'm starting again because I have embarked on a 75 hard challenge. Can you believe it? Girl that reads books, she's doing some kind of fitness crazy challenge. Why not? So yes, she's embarking on a 75-day hard challenge, and one of those requirements is to read 10 pages of a non-fiction book. Now, I did just pick up from where I left off because I remember what happened in the rest of the book. This is actually day 2 when you're watching this, so I've done a good amount of reading and I'm enjoying it. I did really want to read this book. This was something that I found really interesting, but for some reason, whenever I'm reading it, but this time around, I feel like I've been a bit reinvigorated, a bit more into it. I mean, we only are on day 2, so the day is young, night is young. We'll see how it goes, do you know what I mean? I'm enjoying it thus far. Anyway, so of my little stack of books, I've actually read these 2 books. I read them in my second year of university, and they were alright. I remember this being bigger, like feeling bigger, so it's not too bad. I'm pretty sure I've annotated these books. These are probably like the only books I've ever actually annotated, and I also really enjoyed this book as well. I haven't gone back to them since I've read them, but I have enjoyed them. Now, this is not to say that, you know, I can form an opinion based on this amount of books. Obviously, I've read many a non-fiction book in my life through academia, whether that be at school, university. I've read a lot of historical books because I did study history. I have read a lot of non-fiction in my time. I just don't particularly enjoy it, and I'm not sure if I want to change that habit or not. I just love fiction so much, and as you guys know, I have so many books all over my room, so I've got such a big list to read, and I just don't see myself going for these books. I thought today we'll talk about what non-fiction books I have, why I picked them in the first place, and sort of would I ever get round to reading them or shall I not? Enter the chat this video. It's really random, but I just wanted to say, if you're a non-fiction reader, proud of you, you're smashing it. Let me know some recommendations in the comments down below, and maybe we can start a little series where we try to read one non-fiction book. Maybe we'll start every couple of months just for a safety period, but what do you guys think? Are you non-fiction fans? Are you fiction only? Because I'm kind of becoming a bit exclusive. If you also want to follow my 75 hard challenge, you absolutely do not have to, but I did make a little Instagram called Alice's 75 day journey, so I just post random crap on that. So if you would like to, I'm pretty sure it has like 2 followers, like my boyfriend and one of my friends. But you know, it's holding me accountable. It's kind of like my diary for it. And I also do have a TikTok, which I will put in the description box below, and I've posted a lot on there. So plug-in done, let's move on. So I have 7 non-fiction books. So 2 have been read. Now, of the remaining 5, 3 have actually been started and never finished. As you can see, we have The Chimp Paradox. This is like mind management. This is when I was going through my self-help phase. I made it to chapter 2. I read 10 pages. Got a lovely little Center Parcs bookmark in there, just whiling away the hours in here, not getting any other use. I do apologise for using you. But I don't know, it just looked... This is when I was going through a little bit of a... I need to sort my mindset out, my mentality. So you can see why I kind of gravitated towards these books. I don't know if I particularly like the self-help vibe. I think actually, like, if I'm going to read non-fiction, I'd rather read about something like, for example, Why We Sleep. I feel like that's really interesting. But I don't know. I feel like it's good. It's got like little diagrams in there and it's not too intimidating, but it just looks like a textbook. This is my issue. It looks like a textbook, and as we spoke about on this channel before, go have a little search for the video if you want to be fully in the loop. But I did have a bit of a massive reading slump, and I think it was due to text like this. Reading it all the time, it just took the enjoyment out of reading. So maybe. Now, we also started this book because, again, doesn't this just sound interesting? So I made it to, once more, page 10. And this time, we don't even have a bookmark. We have a piece of paper. So, do you know what? Fair enough. She was absolutely loving it. Again, I feel like this is really interesting in concept. I think that's why I got this book. But yeah, it's just basically about how justice doesn't always get served, and fairness and cases and stuff, and it just sounds really interesting. It's just a lot. I think, like, I remember reading the 10 pages and there's a lot of information, a lot of well written information. I feel like it's a little bit intimidating. I definitely would like to go back to this because it sounds so interesting, and that's why I've held on to it, and that's why I've held on to all of these books and not got rid of them, because realistically, no offense, they are just taking up shelf space, which could definitely be used for something else, but I feel like these are books I should read. Okay, and then obviously, as I said, we have this one which I started, but I have since now started to carry on. It's really interesting in my opinion. It is a lot, like it's a proper academic text. Like, look at those pages, and it has, like, let me show you, it's giving Babel, like the massive footnotes. It's very academic, you know what I mean? There's a lot of jargon and specific words and stuff, but well, that is what that means, do you know what I mean? Like, very intellectual language, let's say. But it is fascinating. I've learned a lot. I mean, even just reading these last 10 pages this morning, I've learned something new every time I read it, and I really do like that. Then also, arguably, I learn something new every time I read the Twisted series, because I think, how can we make this more cringy? And then, but no, I'm joking. I'm actually very much enjoying the Twisted series. And there will be a video coming on the 3rd book this Saturday, I believe. So stay tuned for that, alright? Stay tuned. For now, back to the present. So there are only 2 books on my shelf of non-fiction that I have never touched. This one, my friend gave me, and I was like, thank you, but I'm never going to read this because it's huge. And he said, no, you're going to read it. And I still haven't read this, but I tried to give it back to him. I was like, look, thank you so much for lending me this. I'm never gonna. He was like, no, I've got another copy. You take this copy and you will read this. So I've held on to it because one day I will read this. It doesn't necessarily make me want to grab, but it doesn't look too bad. It looks kind of like, I would say, like maybe like a history book. You know, something like Andrew Marr's Modern Britain or something. It gives me that kind of vibe. Whoa, that was a blast from the past. Cool, pulled that out of thin air. Yeah, so let me know if you read this book. I definitely feel like I want to read it, just from the principle of how my friend was like, no, you're gonna read this, you're gonna read this. There are some pictures in there, that's fun. But I think it'll be interesting, nonetheless. It's giving historical vibes as well. So we will get around to that one day. And then the last one we have is Women Don't Owe You Pretty. Now, I'm going to be really 100% honest here. I bought this for 2 reasons. Number 1, I think it went a bit viral at the time and was like super popular. And 2, it's really pretty. I know, I'm a bad woman, I'm sorry. But it's really pretty. And look, it's got like cute little diagrams in it. Not diagrams, sorry. Pictures, illustrations. I mean, come on, like, how nice is that on your shelf? Oh, hey girl. Should I give it a read? I feel like I should. I feel like I'm doing a disservice to my gender. But I don't know, it looks quite interesting. So should we read some of the content? You have, feminism is going to ruin your life in the best way possible. Fair enough. Women don't owe you pretty, but you are the love of your own life. How to break up with yourself. Interesting. Refuse to find comfort in other women's flaws. Yeah, makes sense. Are they intimidating or am I intimidated? Ah, that's a good way of thinking about that. Stop scrolling in the mornings. Yeah, that's alright, but I just don't do that anyway. Protect your energy. To date or not to date? Touch wood, I don't have that problem. Maybe it's a girl crush, maybe you're queer. Love, sex. Ooh, Oh, sorry, this one's getting a little bit PG, guys. If it's not a fuck yes, it's a no. Yeah, makes sense. What did she expect going out like that? Oh, God, what the worst. Like, I actually genuinely can't believe people try to justify their actions like that. Ridiculous. Women do not exist to satisfy the male gaze. Fair enough. Stop putting our people on a pedestal. Yeah. Life's short. Dump them. Okay. Fake. You don't have to get married. No, really. Stop assuming. Accountability. Check your privilege. Let that shit go. Do you know what? I'm intrigued. I am intrigued now. I feel like I could start reading this. I don't know what the style is going to be like. It looks kind of interesting. It's giving like it's trying to be like the woman's, I don't say Bible because we're not religious on this channel, but do you know what I mean? So maybe I should read this as a testament to my gender. Yeah, why not? Do you know, this is what I've been thinking about. Okay. So the reason I think I avoid the non-fiction is because I'm a very chilled but not chilled person. So in the respect of I'm very much do what you want, do what makes you happy, love who you want, don't be a dick, and we're all good. We can live our lives, right? If you're doing what you want to do in your own time, that's fine. Doesn't matter to me. It's not of my concern. If you're dating this person, not my concern. If you're doing this, not my concern, right? Very, very chill. But also at the same time, I'm fundamentally not a chill person. Just not about those things, if that makes sense. Like, I'm very overthinky, worry about a lot of things, unnecessarily spiral a bit. It's okay. We're good. We're working on it. We're great. But I feel like when I read a non-fiction book, that element of escapism that's removed, and sometimes, like I have made videos on this before, like too much escapism is bad, right? But sometimes you just want to enter a universe where you can just read a little spicy little scene or a scene about dragons. But do you know what I mean? Like sometimes you just need that because it's very, I want to say mindless, but it's not entirely mindless, but it's very relaxed. Whereas I feel like when you're reading a non-fiction, you have to be quite switched on and you have to be quite aware of what you're reading, because otherwise, which I am very, very guilty of, I've done this many, many, many a time, I will just reread the page over and over and over again and I'm not absorbing any information. Whereas I feel like I could speed read a whole chapter of a romance book and be able to tell you what's going on. Do you know what I mean? I also think it's important about finding the ones that click with you. Even though I haven't read all of these books on my shelf, I only ever picked ones that I thought would suit me, if that makes sense. Like ones that I genuinely had an interest in, because I knew that if I didn't have an interest in it and I just bought it because it was popular, jokes, I do have an interest. If I didn't have some kind of interest in it and I just bought it solely because it was popular, then I just won't read it ever. Do you know what I mean? When it comes to non-fiction, I feel like you need to find what interests you. And I guess I'm still kind of working that out. But for the most part, I can say at the moment, I am enjoying Why We Sleep. I definitely recommend it so far. And I can't see how it's not going to change because it's just going to give you more information. But if you're interested in that kind of thing, or psychology, or maybe you're struggling sleeping yourself, because I feel like this actually gives you some kind of eye-opening things. I don't know though, maybe if you're struggling with sleep, maybe don't read it because it does tell you that sleep's really good for you, so. I think I've waffled on enough, don't you? Do you agree? Thank you. We are going to try to finish this. No, we're not going to try it. We will. We're on page 77 and there's 339 pages. Okay. So that's not bad. So we've got 262 pages to go, which is what, 27 days, more or less, right? I'll come back to you in 27 days, in about a month or so, and we can talk about this book. I'm aiming to push, like maybe even just go a couple more pages than 10 pages a day, but 10 pages is the minimum requirement. And then I think I would like to get on this as well. I think I would like to read this, so maybe this will be the next one I read in the following month, because the 75 days is obviously longer than the 27 days, so I will need to read another one. I will also tell you about that. How does that sound? But anyway, sorry about today's video. It's kind of a bit waffly, a bit rambly, but sometimes we just gotta talk about things that we don't usually talk about, you know? Try something new. And like I said, if you like non-fiction, then please give me some recommendations down below. Obviously, I have got these books to read, but if there's something you think I'd be interested in, give it a little comment. Go on, why not? I will see you all again on Thursday with another video, which I'm quite excited about. See you then. And without further ado, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Have you subscribed? Thank you very much. And as always, until the next one, I'll see you then. Bye! Let me know some recommendations. Why is everyone driving so fast today? She's got a ponytail today.